of villages in India which got united across and it became a town. There were a lot of towns in India which got united and became cities. And there were a lot of cities which got united and became zones. And there were a lot of zones which has become a country across. For example, South India had three kings, Swara, Swara, Pandya, who were fighting with each other a lot. With the advent of British, all these three people have got decimated and they all came under the British rule, and the Swara kings, the Pandya kings and the Swara kings are all dissolved. For example, you see the Swara kings were representing the Tamil Nadu, the Swara kings were representing the Kerala, the Pandya kings were representing the Andhra Pradesh across as a person. Now this slowly got united and it became a constituency called the Madras Presidency, which are part of all these things across. So you see, there were a lot of villages, so what you call Palayakaras, who got united and they made small kingdoms. With the advent of British, these kingdoms got decimated and got integrated into something very big. The wars actually united the lot of places, then separating the lot of places. So therefore, if we extend this analogy to different parts of India, the Bengal had different kingdoms which were fighting against with each other. Warren Hastings fought those wars and united the kingdoms. And like that in North India and in the East India, which has happened. So ultimately, the British was able to rule as one single unit and the entire India across after annexation policy and a variety of policy across. The problem was India, the first war of independence was lost, but India became one unit. Like that, there was warring faction against the China and the Ming dynasty which got united across. So therefore, you please understand that there are many blocks in the world. For example, Russia, there were a lot of countries which has got united due to Russia. Now, after the Russian Revolution by Gorbachev, all these got split, but again, they are somewhat close to each other as a person across. So the first thing you have to understand, first there were integration of villages, then integration of town, then there were integration of cities, and now there were integration of metropolitan cities. Now there will be integration of the countries which will happen. First by trade. For example, you take ASEAN. ASEAN is a bloc of around 10 to 12 countries which are opening up the entire thing and they are trying to unite. Now you take the European Union, they are trying to open up the entire Europe market where as a single one entity across. The same way, the China is trying to open up the One Belt, One Road initiative by keeping China as the center focus and building a host of countries into it across. Now, Africa also in the future will move into one Africa. There are many countries like South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Somalia, all that will unite to form the African Federation, where it will be one unit where somebody can do the trade, somebody can do the business with them as a person. The same thing is with the South America, North America. Today, South America and the North America is not united. They will get united in the future where you can do the easy trade links across as a person. Now, Australia is already united across, and also the Asia is really fragmented as many countries, and the Middle East is also fragmented as many countries. One of the important impact of the jihad is the Islamic nations are beginning to think itself as one unit. Of course, there are two separate blocks right now. It is Saudi Arabia versus Yemen, like that. There are two separate blocks. But over a period of time, they will start uniting itself not only as an opaque countries, but also where you will be able to do the trade, and you will be able to do the trade policies, where it's like one unit, the entire Middle East, where you can travel, go about and do any kinds of business across. So this will be one of the important steps in the future, where the world will become boundaryless. But in terms of countries and the continents are not united. It is only the countries which are getting united across. And for example, now we can integrate with Pakistan, Afghanistan, where a person can travel easily and do the trading things across as a person. So therefore, this is the uniting of the countries will happen. After the uniting of the countries, there will be uniting of the continents which will happen across. Now, the continents of Europe and Africa can merge very easily because they are very close to each other. The Asian continent and the Australian and the Japan can easily do that because their geographical proximity is the same. Then of course the South American continent will become one, that is the third level. And of course there will be what you call, then there will be a global uniting of multiple continents. For example, it can be Africa and America which can be uniting, the Asia can be separate, then there will be like 5, it will become 3, and after that 2, and after that it will be a single continent which will be, and a single world which will be coming across. So you please understand that first there will be country unity which will be coming across due to the trade, and I will also explain to you how transport, telecommunication, language, all these things will change across completely, and there will be a lot of migration across. Now after the uniting of the countries, there will be unity of continents which will happen. The unity of the continents, now there are 5 continents, slowly those continents will become 3 in nature, that is 3 continents will be there, then there will be dual continents will be there, and then it will all get united to a single continent. So there will be unity of countries will be there, then there will be unity of continents will be there as a person. Just like how villages got united to cities, the cities got united to metropolitan cities, the metropolitan cities got united as a zone, south zone, north zone, and then these became the countries. So in the similar manner, these kind of differences will change. Of course, right now there are political ideology which is very different, and there are languages which are different. The cultures are all very, very different across, which will take a long time for the barrier to break. The barrier will break first because of the trade. For example, we use Chinese goods these days. The American uses the Indian software engineers. So there will be an exchange of objects and people in multiple countries which will happen naturally. For example, a Bangladeshi worker can come and work in Pakistan, a Pakistan worker can come and work in India, an Indian worker can work in Belarus, and a Belarus worker can work in Chicago. Like that, a lot of people will be shifting countries. Earlier, they were only shifting the villages to towns, to cities. They were shifting across. Slowly, they were shifting countries. But now the migration speed will increase. The migration speed will increase because of 3 things. Because of trade, because there is a huge amount of money which gets traded across. The second reason is that of transportation, where a lot of people can get carried away from one way to another. And the third one is people will also move because not only because of trade, but because of telecommunication development. For example, you are speaking Chinese, you can convert your Chinese into Tamil. You are speaking English, you can convert this into English. The language barrier will get broken completely, where each other will be able to translate faster, communicate faster. The medium of English alone will get broken, not only the internet, but in many countries across. So there will be a mass migration which will be happening across the world, where people will go to the area of prosperity. For example, you take in India, there are a lot of people from Bihar and in the northeastern states are coming to South India because there are jobs available, there is a need available, so there are a lot of people who will be coming across. And the products which are manufactured in China is used by the different people. So slowly the world is becoming like a village. So the world is becoming like a village and people are moving into different houses and coming out of it. So this will be the future trend which will be unfolding very, very clearly across. There will be immigration. It will be a legal immigration, and there will also be an illegal immigration can be there. So this will be a common factor which will be faced by countries in the 21st century across, which will be facing across, and of course it will take few years or few centuries before we come across. Now there are other areas of integration which we will be talking across, how the voting system will happen, all those things will happen. I will explain to you in the coming videos.